more knowledge on this area, and also uh, other students, other second years and final year students and first years also, so can attend this event. Okay, and so many students are registered for this webinar. Okay, if someone is not attending, then you please ask them to join immediately. You please send a WhatsApp to them. Definitely don't miss this opportunity. Okay, it will be very helpful for your placements also. Okay, so you please utilize this webinar from the experts. Okay, and also you will get free certificates also, e-certificates also. Okay, so you please utilize this. And also I would like to introduce our keynote speaker first. Okay, so first I would like to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Nimesh Kandalwal. Nimesh Kandalwal has a vast knowledge of the IT and the education industry. He is an entrepreneur. Currently, he is working in Flipkart as a senior developer, and also he is a co-founder and a mentor at Campus Veda, and also co-founder and a mentor at Excula. He strongly believes in new, learning new every day. So learning today, leading tomorrow. Okay, and he is our keynote speaker. And also, I would like to another expert and special guest of our webinar, Mr. Hemant Chaudhary. Sir Hemant Chaudhary has 3+ years experience in operations as a manager. He worked at ClassPath, which provides a personalized learning platform for students. He is a co-founder at Campus Veda. Okay. So now session is yours, sir. Now I will hand over session to Mr. Hemant Chaudhary. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your kind words. So, hi everyone, this is Himanshu Chaudhary. I'm the co-founder at Campus Veda. So before we start the webinar, I'll give you short intro about our company. So basically, we are the platform who empowers the student community. We feel that there is a big gap between the students and the industry. So we are trying to decrease that gap through e-learning or providing the industry knowledge through internship or project-based learning. And for more details, you can visit our website and you can contact us personally. And it's a request to everyone, please turn off your mic and don't share your screen in between the webinar. In case of any doubt, you can ask your question by unmuting the mic, or you can shoot your question in the chat box as well. So we'll start our today's session without any further delay. So let's call up the speaker for the day, Mr. Nimesh Khandelwal. He is currently working as a senior software developer in Flipkart, and he is also the co-founder mentor at Campus Veda as well. So from here, I request Dimesh Khandelwal to take up the session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for such an introduction. Thanks, Himanshu. I'll just start right away. So, yeah, I'm Nimesh. I'm currently working at Flipkart. And today I'm here to talk about college placements and the skills that are required to crack an interview. So, just a few instructions before we attend this session. Please don't switch on your video, it will create unnecessary load on the network. You can switch on your mic whenever you have doubt or you want to ask something. Please don't hesitate to ask questions, and please do ask questions. Like, if you have any doubt regarding this PPT or regarding this session or regarding any doubt regarding your placement process, please do ask. Don't hesitate. You will get a copy of this recorded session on your mail, and let's make the session interactive, and I hope it will be very useful for your careers. And you can ping me anytime later on any platform, Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, if you have any doubts that you're not comfortable in asking during the session. So before we begin, like, I just want to take a small survey, like, what is a dream company? Like, what is the dream company that you guys have in mind? Can you just write in your message or like unmute yourself and tell me? Like, what is a dream company? Which company do you want to get into? Please don't hesitate. It's a very easy question. Or please don't hesitate. Don't think much, like Amazon or Microsoft or Flipkart. Okay, one Amazon. Another one? You must have some dream company, right? Like, please don't hesitate. I think you guys hate. Okay, fine. We'll continue and then we will come. Okay, fine. PayPal, right? More, please more. Fast. Okay, Cisco. You can repeat also. Like if someone else says Amazon, he can write. Okay. No response. Okay, fine. So thanks for the response. Like it's Amazon, PayPal, and Cisco. Like these all three companies are very big companies which pay quite heavily, and we will discuss during this webinar like how to crack the companies like this. Okay, so first, before discussing like about the interview process, let's first discuss like what are the prerequisites of an interview. Like what do you need to prepare before you go to an interview. So here it is. The first one is the good resume. Obviously, resume is the most important tool that you need to crack any interview. Resume is actually a first impression that you give to an interviewer. The interviewer gets an initial perception like what this candidate has done, what are his core skills, what questions should I need to ask, what he has done during this college, what internship he has done. So like it gives the whole picture to an interview like what you have done in your 4 years of college. So obviously resume is a very important tool. Design of the resume does not matter much. What content you write, what core strengths you highlight, that is what makes the resume a great tool to get to crack for a job. So obviously make sure that you have a decent resume with highlighting all your skills. We will have a look like how to design resume later. Second thing is previous experience. Obviously being a college student, you won't have any job experience while giving an interview, but an experience like internship or like doing something great in college, that really matters when you apply for an interview, because internship is something which validate your skills. Like for example, in resume, you have written like, Java, but how will you prove that you know Java? So these internships and the projects are something that validate your skills. So obviously make sure that you have at least one internship with your in your resume. Third thing is the past projects. The projects that you do and during your college really matters a lot. You might not understand the importance of it right now, but when you sit for an interview, to make interview talk about something, to initiate a conversation or to showcase your skills, you need a project. These projects are a great way to tell like, I know this skill, I've done this project to validate my skills. The validation is very necessary. Obviously, certificate also validate your skills, but projects and internships is like a permanent seal on that skill. So make sure that you have an internship or a good project to showcase your skills. Fourth one is good aptitude. Like some of you might have a perception like I want to sit in companies like your friends have said like Amazon, Cisco, PayPal. Why these companies would require interview? I need to code. Like why do I need a good aptitude or solve some quantitative problems? Obviously, this thought is completely correct. Like you won't be doing any problem solving in terms of like solving mathematical problem in your company. But actually being in college, the only way the company has to judge you are just two things, aptitude and the technical skills. So aptitude is a way of telling the company like, I have a certain IQ that I can take up any job that you will throw at me. So yeah, aptitude is a basic test that normally all companies take while you go for an interview. Fifth one is enhanced communication skill. Like communication skills are really very important when you're sitting for an interview. Like just knowing something and telling an interviewer that you know, it's completely different. Like how you project your skills, how you talk during an interview, how you answer a particular question, what your attitude is when you're answering that question really matters when you sit for an interview. So yeah, you have to work on your communication skills very much if you want to crack your dream company. The last one is grip on your core CS concepts. If you want to sit for a high paying job, like the companies which usually pay more than 7 to 8 lakhs, these obviously look for the core computer science skills. The computer science skills means like data structure and algorithms, operating systems, networking, DBMS. These are the core subjects that you need to work on when you want to crack any big interview. So try to work around this area. Okay, moving ahead. So what are the company's expectations? Like this is always a puzzle in every college student's mind. Like what do companies actually require? What these companies expect when you are sitting for an interview? So looking ahead in these, like to get an overview like about the expectation, I've divided the companies in 3 categories. I think like many of the colleges follow the same principle. First one is obviously the mass company. These are the companies which pay during like between 2 to 4 lakhs, and these are basically the consultancy based companies. The second one is a dream company. Like these pay usually between 4 to 10 lakhs. And the third one is like the dream company, really a dream company for everyone. That is super dream companies which pay 10 or above. Okay, moving ahead, like the mass companies. So like mass companies include the companies like TCS, Wipro, Accenture, IBM. These are the big named corporations which pick up the like a project from a client and then they make you do it. So I will tell you the whole interview process, like how the interview goes for a mass company. Normally, the first round is obviously an aptitude test. Like there's some quantitative aptitude, verbal reasoning, or like solving some puzzles. First round is usually focused on that area, and it might get complicated with a simple computer science based problem, like a simple algo question or simple OS question. Very simple. Like you just need to brush up your skills that we have learned in 4 years of college, and then you can easily crack this. The second round is normally an interview or a GD preparation round. Like in the group discussion will happen, like, and then they might select around 50 or 40% of the students to the next round. The apart from the GD, what they might take is like you have to speak something on a particular topic for around 2 minutes. So these are the multiple categories that they might take to test your communication skills, your confidence, and how you present yourself like that. Then the third round comes, and that is the interview round. In that, they see your resume, they look out for the skills that you have mentioned, and they start asking the questions about that. For example, if you have written Java, then they will ask some questions about Java. They will talk about your internships, they will talk about your projects. So the more things you have specified in a resume, the more like easy it will be for interviewer to ask something, and it will really showcase a very good impression. It's not a directly relation, but yeah, time, the duration of the interview like really matters. Like if the interview goes for only 2 to 3 minutes, it means that it might go bad. If the duration of the interview is like 15 to 20 minutes, it's a good ideal range to have an interview. So obviously, the length of the interview is more, the more your chances is like the interview might select you. It might not be completely true, but yeah, there's some correlation between it. So try to mention more and more skills. Try to give some points to an interviewer to crack a conversation, so your interview might go well. So obviously, as I mentioned, like to crack these companies, you need a good communication skills to crack the second round. You need a good aptitude skills to crack the first round. You need a good behavioral aptitude to manage all your 3 rounds. You need to know like the answers of the particular cases. Like you might even have seen some blogs. For every interview, there's some common questions like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Like if manager asks you something and that is unethical, what will you do? How will you raise a question to your manager? So these are the basic questions that you always need to prepare while sitting for an interview. Almost every company asks these questions, and what you answer in these questions really, really matters. Like it is the final impression that you throw on that company. So always prepare for these kind of questions. The next thing is the coding skills and CS concept. It's a very minor part when setting for a mass companies because they don't ask very much complicated questions. The last thing is obviously resume and the previous experience. Resume matters a lot for these companies, but previous experience might not. Like they don't expect you to do multiple internships to get into these companies. So in a summary, the mass companies first round is aptitude. Second one is communication skills and the behavioral aptitude. Third one is a little bit about technical knowledge and more about your resume. To the next set of companies is the dream companies. Like these dream companies include banks like Bank of America, Standard Chartered, like these kind of big banks, small scale startups, and like companies like KPMG, PwC, etc. The pay range is pretty good for these companies. They pay around 4 to 10 lakhs. And the work will also be like pretty cool when you go into the companies, and the perks is also decently well. They give you free food or some coupons like that. So what do you actually require to crack the interview for these kind of companies? Normally, the first round for these companies might be a basic test that will include both aptitude and the coding based question. So you need to prepare a decent knowledge on a coding part and obviously manage the aptitude at the same time. Don't prepare an aptitude like you're preparing for a CAT exam. You need to prepare aptitude on a basic level, not too much advanced and not too much below. So try to manage both these things. Then the second round might be the same, like it might be a GD, some debate, or a 2-minute speak, like that. It will be basically communication skills and your interaction part that will be tested during the second round. The third round will be the like final interview or multiple rounds of interview in which the things will be asked on your resume, on your coding skills. So yeah, basically like that. So I've just seen like the mass companies and the dream companies process is similar, but the only thing that is different is the toughness, or I can say like the strictness that they follow during an interview. Like the dream companies questions will be a little tougher than what you might face in mass companies, and the quantity of the hire is also very less for the dream companies when you compare to the mass companies. As the name suggests, it's a mass company. So try to prepare more on your coding skills when you're sitting for these kind of companies. The resume and experience are a very important part for these kind of companies, and they literally value like what internship or what skills have you mentioned in resume. So make sure that you prepare a good resume and you have a decent internship while you're sitting for these companies. Third category is the super dream companies. It's the big startups, Oyo, Paytm, Amazon, Flipkart, Goldman Sachs, all the big corporations that you might hear of that pay very heavily. So yeah, these are the super dream companies. And these companies don't ask much on aptitude. They prefer very less, and they prefer more on your coding skills. The data structures and algorithms is the core subject that they heavily test during all the rounds of an interview. Like at Amazon, there is around 5 rounds of total interview. 3 are based on DSA. One is the like technical coding test, and one is the behavioral aptitude or HR round, you can say. So the process goes like this. First, they will filter out the students based on some criteria. Second, they will make you attend some test on the various platforms like HackerRank or HackerEarth. You will give that test. Around 2 to 3 questions will come. You need to answer 1 or 2 out of them. Then if your answers are correct, you will move ahead to the next round. On the next round, you will ask again on the data structures, algorithms, operating systems, networking, DBMS. Then goes again the third round, in which again you will be asked on the same concepts, but the questions will be a little trickier. Then again the same round, the questions will be more trickier, and then the final HR round. So a typical process goes like this for the super dream companies. As you might have noticed, like the most part of the process is basically on the coding and the core CS concepts. Don't get too worried. Like you might see like they're very, very tough problems that are asked during the interview. No, it's not like that. They basically judge you on your basic coding skills and little about the problem solving. Like if you're thrown up an algorithm question, like how do you approach that question? What algorithm have you used? How did you write the code? All these aspects are tested. Even if you don't answer that particular question, it's completely fine. If your approach is correct, they will surely consider it. So yeah, basically that is very important for these kind of companies. The resume and experience are also really a great plus when you're sitting for these companies. Like they heavily look for an experience part. If you have an internship, it's a great plus and it will highlight some of your negative points. Like if you're not able to answer 1 or 2 questions, and if you have a great experience, that will overshadow the mistakes during an interview. So try to have an either internship or project or something to prove your skills. I will just take a pause here and then we just like try to know like if you have any questions till that part. Like I moved so fast because I have to cover so many things. Like if you have any questions, please do ask. If you want me to explain more in detail about a particular company, I can do that. Please do ask. Don't hesitate. If you hesitate now, like how will you going to crack an interview? Please don't hesitate. And don't think like if like my question is very stupid or like that. None of the questions stupid. Please do ask. So should I go ahead? Any question? Okay, fine. We just move ahead. Okay, so just to trying to make an analogy between cricket and the interview process. So like in cricket, like if you play against Australia or you play against India, or you play against England, every team has different strengths and different weaknesses. Every team has different principles. So the same goes true for each and every company. Like every company is different. The process that the Amazon will follow or the things that Amazon will look out for is very different than what the Flipkart is looking out for. So you need to research your opponent. You need to research the company for which you are sitting for. You need to like browse through a website, search for the principles, search for the questions asked, search for like what are the skills they are looking for. You just need to research very heavily. just don't go directly blank face to an interview. Like it will really help you a lot if you know about a company when you're sitting for an interview. Like you can make your answers align to their values, and it really helps. It gives a very good impression to a company. Like I will tell you my experience at Flipkart. Like at Flipkart, I know like they follow some ABC principle follows. Principle in their company. A is for audacious, B is for bold, or and C is for customer friendly. So these are the three principles that Flipkart follows. So during my final round of interview, like when my manager asked me some particular questions, I try to align my answer to these particular values. Like I give him my previous experience according to that. I told him like I've done this project in which I've taken such a bold decision, and I've always made sure like the customer is always first. Like I always made sure that all my requirements, all my engineering effort goes into make my product customer friendly. So you need to use that words when you're giving an interview. So always research a company, like what are its core strengths, what are its values, that will really help you a lot. The next thing is like always remember you just need to win one match. Like don't get too worried about like if I don't crack an interview, and even don't get too lazy when you don't crack an interview. What I mean to say is like even if you're not able to crack an interview, try to learn from it rather than creep about it like you're not able to crack. Try to learn like what were your mistakes, what were your strengths, and try to work over your mistakes. Like if you feel like I should have prepared more on object-oriented programming, then learn about object-oriented programming for the next set of interviews. Don't get like way too sad about not able to crack an interview. And at the same time, do practice a lot. Do learn a lot before you go for an interview. Take it as a golden opportunity. Try to like take advantage of every situation that comes in your way. Don't miss on learning part when you want to sit for an interview. Always look out for like what are the good tools for learning, and always take advantage of that. And another thing is like you just need to know your best shots. Like what are the core strengths? Only mention those in your resume. If you feel like you don't know Python too much, then don't mention your resume. Because if you mention in your resume that you know Python and an interviewer asks you about Python and you don't know the answer, it will look bad. Then if you have not mentioned the Python in your resume. So always make sure the skills that you mention in your resume, if you know really well, then only mention it. If you have some project on it, then only try to mention it. So try to work around these parts. Like you have to play quite tactical. Like the interview is not a very simple process in which just to sit and the interview will ask question and you have to just answer. It's like a game. Like you need to know like what the interviewer is asking. You need to clear your doubts. Even if you don't know the answer, you need to handle it very graciously. Like for example, if I ask you like what are the basic core OOPS concepts, so if you don't know the answer for it, then you need to handle it like I've not learned more about it. I think like these are the principles, I might have missed some. So always play quite tactical. Try to handle this bad situation even more graciously. Practice it, and then you will master the skill. And don't chase one company. Like the reason I asked you the dream company's initial stage, like even if you have a goal in mind, like Amazon, it's very good that you have some goal in mind, like I want to enter into Amazon. But don't be way too focused on it. Like don't be like, I will only sit for an interview for Amazon, I will only prepare hard for Amazon, I will prepare for any other company. Don't be like that. First, try to secure a job first, and then go for a dream company. So always prepare in a general way. Like if you're targeting a super dream company only, don't miss on your aptitude part. You might require it to crack some dream company. So always be not focused just for one company. Try to be more, make a preparation more generic. I always remember, like you have nothing to lose. Like the interview is not a paid one, right? Like even if you don't crack it, the another one might come. So please don't be very like sad about if you're not able to get an interview scheduled or you're not able to crack an interview. Don't be very sad about it. And as I said, like research for each and every company before you go for an interview. Please remember this point. It will really help you a lot when you sit for an interview. It will increase your chances by like 20 to 30% if you have made mistakes. So please remember it. I'm pausing it again. Like if you have any doubt, please do ask. Any doubt, like how to get an off campus, how to get a refill, any doubt, please do ask. You can write it on a message box if you have not able to speak or something. Like please do ask. Any doubt or anything? Please take initiative. Please do ask. Okay, I'll move ahead and we will take questions more later. So the most important part, like what are the coding skills required to crack an interview? Because at the end, only skills is the one that really matters. Obviously, the first one, the data structures and algorithms. It is like the core and the main subject that you need to know when you are like sitting for a super dream or a dream category company. It's the most important topic that you need to prepare like as early as you can. You need to learn data structures and algorithms in detail. Do practice on the various platforms that are available on internet like HackerRank, CodeShare, and Geeks for Geeks. These are the very famous platforms. Do take help from them. Try to learn from the courses that are available on internet. Like when you are trying to practice on these platforms, you might miss some concepts that might not have come in your way, and those might get asked in interview. So always look out for the series and the courses which help you know like what is actually asked in an interview. Try to look out for that. And remember, like data exchange algorithm is something like those are not just asked from the freshers. It even asks for an experienced one. Even if I am going to sit for an interview in any company, DSA will always be asked. It's a very great tool for the company to get you analyzed, like to know whether the person will be fit for a company or not. So please prepare it heavily. And language doesn't matter. That's true. Like you can take help of any language that you are comfortable with. You can use Python, Java, C++, any language of your choice. But always remember to make one language perfect. Like don't go jumbling way like you might write sometime in C++, sometime in Java. Don't go that way. Pick one language and master it, and then practice DSA on that. Next one is OOPS. Like object-oriented programming concept is like the most commonly asked question in every interview, be it mass, be it dream, or be it super dream. So to prepare for the OOPS, don't go very much in detail. Learn about each and every concept and have your skills brushed up on this OOPS concept. If you have picked C++, learn about OOPS concept in C++. If you have picked Java, learn about OOPS in Java. If you have picked Python, learn about OOPS in Python. So do prepare for these like of don't know like what the questions are asked on the OOPS. Search the internet, go for the series and the courses which will quite help you like what are the questions asked during an interview for OOPS. The next one is the DBMS, the database management system. Like I think it might also be included in your curriculum. So you can take help from that and learn about like SQL syntaxes, join queries, outer join, left join, all these things. Also prepare about normalizations, 1NF, 2NF, 3NF. Try to learn like what you can actually, the problems that you might face. Don't go in the gate level of preparation. Go in the like the basic problem solving on this database management systems. The questions that are usually asked is like they will give you 3 to 4 tables, and then they will tell you like whether it is 1NF or not. Then you have to answer like, yeah, this is not 1NF. Then they will ask you to transform this table into 1NF, then 2NF, then 3NF. The question will go like that. So do prepare for that kind of question when you're preparing for DBMS. The queries part will also be the pretty much same. They will give you 2 to 3 tables, and then they will ask you to write a inner join or outer join query on that. So prepare on that aspect. Fourth one is OS and networking. Operating system networking is something like it's a good to have skill. It's not very important when you're preparing for interview for operating systems. It is mostly asked in super dream companies, and dream companies usually don't prefer to ask about operating systems. Always prepare for it if you have an extra time. Your first priority should be data structures. Second should be like OOPS. Third should be DBMS, and then OS and networking if you have an extra time. Video tutorials, questions that are asked, like what do companies ask, all will be available on the internet, and the various courses are on it. So please do take help from that. I will again pause here. If you have any question, please do ask. Please don't hesitate. If you have no questions, then we will move further ahead. Okay. So the next important thing is the projects and internship. As I mentioned multiple times that these are a very, very important thing to have in your resume. It validate your skills. The points that you've mentioned in your resume, on your skills section, on what you've done in college, what you learned in college, projects and internships are a way to validate it. So make sure you have a decent projects that are done in college, decent internships that are done in college. I always mention in detail about them. It's a very good way to showcase your skills. So make sure that you have good projects and internships. And projects and internships, as I said, like it's very important when you're sitting for some dream company or super dream company, or you want to apply for off campus. Like when you're applying for an off campus in these companies, like obviously they need some extra point, like what differs you from the rest of the crowd. So projects and internships are the only way that in which you can make yourself different. So if you're thinking about applying for off campus, do make sure that you have projects and internships in a good quantity and a good quality. Next, we will look at off campus, like how to apply that. If you have any question regarding the placement process, please do ask. Please do ask and don't hesitate. Okay. Navina Jain has asked, like, is it necessary to solve all question answer in a coding round, sir? Because sometimes made us vex that we can't solve more than one in the given time, even practice a lot. That's completely true. Like coding round is normally the first round for any company, and they don't expect you to solve any problem. I will give you an example. Like if the number of questions asked is 3, then you need to solve at least 1, and 2 is great. 3 though, like you don't even have think about solving the third one. Just solve 1 or 2. Like if the number of question is 5, then try to solve at least 2. If the number of question is 1, obviously you need to solve that one. If the number of question is 2, you need to solve just 1. So try to complete at least 50% of the paper. Like you will surely be selected for interview. That's a guarantee. Like can even give you an example. In DirectI, like they normally ask 3 questions, and even if you complete 1, you will be called for an interview. At Amazon, they ask 3 questions and some aptitude question. Aptitude you need to complete at least 40%, and for 3 coding questions, the questions are very easy, so they expect at least 1 and other one as half. So yeah, basically that much. I think I answered your question, right? You don't need to answer all the question. Okay, which one is good, sir? Doing a question that passes all the test cases or passing half test cases in all question? No, like you need to complete at least 1 question. If you're completing 3 with half test cases, you might not get selected. Like even if you complete 1 and 2 are completely left, you will be selected. So try to complete at least 1 question in full and then go for the second question. Okay, next. About languages, aren't the companies that force you to use for a particular language? What if we are not strong in that languages they expect? Normally, when you're hired from college, they don't expect you to learn a particular language. It might be possible that the company might use just 1 language, but they don't expect that from you. Like, I will give you an example. Like in my first company, when I was sitting for, at college, I didn't learn Java. I just learned C++. But the company in which I was like hired for, they use whole complete Java, no C++, no Python, nothing, just Java. But they didn't expect me to learn Java beforehand. They will give you ample amount of time when you get hired. So don't worry about that. On the language part, don't worry. Pick your favorite language when you're sitting for placement. Okay, any other question? We'll wait for 2 more minutes. If you have any question, please do ask. Any question? Okay, I'll move ahead and then we will again come back to Q&A. Just think about the questions that you want to ask. Coming to the off-campus, like obviously it's completely true that is tough for freshers, and I will say like it's completely possible. Like if you want to apply for off-campus, obviously the companies won't come to you. You have to apply in around 10 to 15 companies, and then you will get at least 1 call. So the ratio is like that, 1:10 or 1:15. So you need to make sure that the opportunity that you get in an off-campus, you have to crack it. Like in the college placement might be possible, like one company is coming today, some might come on 3 to 4 after, so I have an ample amount of opportunity that I can take on. But in off campus, you need to make sure that the opportunity you're getting, you need to crack it. So you need to prepare way too well when you apply off campus. And obviously, it becomes very feasible with an internship to get your resume shortlisted for an interview. So always apply an off campus with an internship and with a good project. And obviously, to apply off campus, there are multiple ways. You can directly apply on the website. You can try to make connections over LinkedIn and try to ask the employees that are currently working in that organization to refer you. The third one is a personal network. If you know someone from a particular company, you can ask them to refer you. And please make a note of this. Like if you apply on a company's website, the chances of getting a resume shortlist is like 1:100. If you apply on 100 companies, then you might get a shot at cracking an interview. If you apply through referral program, the chances is like 1:8. You will apply in 8 companies, you will surely get at least a 1 call. So try to get a referral if you want to apply off campus. And I will give another example, like in your college, like Amazon comes, like if you are giving an interview for Amazon, and unfortunately, let's say you're not able to crack that interview. So you can apply off campus for that particular company. Try to go on LinkedIn, try to make connections from Amazon people and ask them for a referral. So you might get even another chance to crack that particular company. So that is the power of off campus. So always do apply off campus, even if you have a placement with you in the college. And always remember, like in off campus also, you just need one success. So try to make sure that you get that. I'll again pause. If you have any questions, please do ask. Please ask. There are only 2 to 3 people that are responding. Please ask if you have any question. Okay, we'll move ahead. So let's look at some mythbusters that are very common perception with every college student. First one is the college matters a lot. Like, even if I say you that it doesn't matter, you won't accept my words, but it's completely true. Like college doesn't matter a lot. Like it might be possible that in college placements, the number of opportunities that you guys are getting, the college like IIT or BITS might get little more, but I don't believe like you won't have ample amount of opportunities to crack a particular company. So don't creep about like you don't have a college or a big brand name. So don't creep about that. Try to take opportunity that comes in your way. Even if you're applying for off campus, many of the companies don't even look out for the college name. What they look out for is like what projects you have done, what skills you have, what internship you have done, or how your interview goes. So try to focus more on that area. Second one is there's no use to prepare for interview for final year. Like normally the students have tendency to start preparing once their final year starts. That should not be the case. You should ideally start a preparation by second year. As I said, like DSA is a subject that needs a lot of practice to master. So the earlier you start, the better chances you have in cracking an interview. Most qualified will get the job. It's another wrong perception that almost every student has in mind. Like obviously it's true. When you like read it, like obviously the most qualified will get a job. So how I'm saying the opposite is true. It's because I have told you, like interview is more of a tactical game. Every question that interview might throw you, you might not even answer it. But how you handle that situation is really matters to actually cracking an interview. Like if 5 questions are thrown at you, like even if the most qualified one will be able to answer like 3 or 4 out of them. But the rest two, how did he answer it? How did he handle it? Really matters even more than what I've answered in that 3 questions. So do practice a lot. And always remember, if you don't have a certain skills, practice a lot and then try to overcome that burden. Next one is soft skill don't matter. Like normally people have a tendency to skip the soft skill part when they're sitting for technical interview. They think like, if I read a little bit about aptitude, I don't think like it will require a lot like that. Please don't have that attitude. Please practice aptitude, practice communication skills, practice mock interviews. This will really help you a lot when you're going for an actual interview. So we'll have an introduction about a company, but before that, if you have any question, please do ask. Okay. Oh, it's a long one. I felt a problem in internship interview that I did a project, but they went deeper and deeper and asked us what is library that is used behind it. Like they went on documentation level, but most of the time students are doing projects just abstract the use of framework and libraries without doing deeper, because that would represent project perspective. How to prepare for the project questions is necessary to go up to the code. Okay, that's a very good question. Like, I think like you have some bit luck when you are sitting for a company which asks you for the library part. Normally, no companies expect you to know much more deeper level of understanding while doing a project. What companies expect from a college student is whether he has tried out that skill, not mastered that skill. It might be just a bad company that you might have tried to do an internship, just like that. Don't worry about it. When you're sitting for a college placement or an off-campus placement in a decent company, they won't ask in a very deeper level or to the core level of that particular skill. They will ask just the brush up details. Like I can give you an example for that. For example, if you have done, let's say, Sudoku puzzle solver on Java, in which you have write basic Java code, use some OOPS concept or a basic Java GUI. So they won't ask like how the Java library works, how JVM works, how Java is run. They won't ask question like that. What they will ask is, what is the algorithm that you have used to solve that Sudoku? Like, what challenges did you face in that project? What are the skills that you have learned during that project? How did you prepare for that project? What is your part in that project? Question like that, rather than focusing on the library. Which library have you used? Who has written that library? Or like how the mocking is done? Not like that. Just the like brush up skills, not in the code part. It's just a bad experience that you might have, but 99% of the companies don't go into the code details. Yeah. Any other question? Please don't hesitate. Unmute your mic and please ask. Yeah, sure, welcome. Please do ask. Okay, we'll move ahead. Like, so actually we at Campus Vida believes like students and the expectations of the company has a very big gap, and we are trying to bridge that gap. Like we believe like students don't have an opportunity to get an internship, do some decent project in their college time. So we have created a comprehensive boot camp in which we prepare students for enhancing their soft skills, their core computer science skills, their interview preparation part, their mock interviews, resume, and all that. So like we have a theory, like when you try to apply for a particular company, you don't always get a call. You're not like an interview. That is because of a lack of skill monster. So we Campus Vida as an e-learning platform will help you prepare on your weaker areas and will try to enhance your strengths, through which we are sure like you will get a job. In each of our bootcamp, it's a very comprehensive one. The instructors are from your dream companies like Amazon, Flipkart, Microsoft, Goldman Sachs is called like that. There are around 20 companies instructor which we have partnered with. They will try to teach you and will tell you the key lookouts during an interview. Will prepare you for the soft skills, the aptitude, the behavioral aptitude, your communication skills. Next, your core skills like operating systems, data structure and algorithms, networking, DBMS, and all these things will be like taught you by the guys who will actually take your interview. So it's a very great opportunity for you to have a comprehensive placement process and try to prepare well for an interview to crack these kind of companies. You will also learn about the tricks and tips that are like not even very common with the college guys. So they will tell you like how like the whole interview process work, what is the mind of the interviewer when they're taking an interview, what answers do you need to give to an interview, how do you need to answer them, what are the normal questions asked, all that. We'll also give you a comprehensive worksheet that is very restricted to a particular company. These worksheet will have the questions that normally interviewer asks during the interview for that company. Like if an instructor is from Amazon, he will give you like around 100 questions that will normally ask during an interview. So try to take opportunity for that. We'll also give you some mock interviews preparation material. Will help you get a mock interview with these companies. We'll also help you give a worksheets to practice like that. With each of our course, there's an assured internship program. Like once you complete our course, you will surely get an internships in companies like Oyo, Paytm, 99, etc. You will also get a job referrals in these companies from which the instructors are, like Flipkart, Amazon, Microsoft, Zynga, Oyo, and many other startups. And it will also give you networking opportunities to get yourself shortlisted for an off-campus opportunity in these companies, and there's a great chance for cracking these companies with these instructors. Don't waste your chance to crack high-paying companies interview just to save few bucks. Please take this opportunity. It's a very great opportunity. Himanshu will even brief you out further outside this webinar to get to know about like how this whole thing works. Prices of this opportunity is yet to be decided. We will have a talk with the college and we'll try to give as many discount as we can. And we're also running a campus with a community group in which we regularly post updates about internships, job opportunities. It's completely free. And after this webinar, we will make sure that you become a part of that and you can take advantage of that. And we urge each and every student to take advantage of both these opportunities. Please don't miss this out. If you have any questions now, please don't hesitate. Please ask. Any question regarding the placement process, any question. Okay. Adding to the previous question, we do projects with the basic knowledge and by referring to internet. It is a good way of doing a project because certain and we expect to be fully strong on the framework. We use that than just being a strong on the portion we did. That is again a wrong perception. The companies don't expect you to know a complete whole of framework. Like if you are using Node or JavaScript, there's a framework named Express. Obviously, the company won't expect you to niche each and every detail of that framework. What they expect you is like whether you have tried that framework, what little project have you made, whether you have tried ORM model or something like that. So if you have a bad experience when you were applying for internship that the company is asked way too detailed, that might be because normally small scale companies, when they are trying to hire for internship, they pay very less and they expect very more. So that might have been the case for you. But don't worry about that. If you refer the internet, it's completely fine. Even at the companies, we do refer for the internet for a regular work. So why won't you do for the college project? It's completely fine. And you don't need to go very, very deep into that framework. Just know like brush up details about that particular framework. Don't go very deep. No companies expect you when you're sitting for an interview. Yeah. Anything else? Okay, what will you do if your teammate doesn't work well? I know this is a famous question in HR round, but there are many signs for that. Can you tell us how to handle this question? Like, this is one of the questions that is quite famous and normally asked during HR interview. Like these, they're around 30 to 40 more. Normally we try to cover this in the course, but I will tell you the answer for this one. Like normally you have to answer these kind of questions very diplomatically. Like you can't bluntly say, like I will go to my manager or I will report him like that. You need to answer in a way, like first I will ask my teammate like what the problem he's facing. Then I will have a one-on-one with him. I will interact with him outside even my office, like what is the issue that he's facing. And if I get the issue and then I will approach the appropriate person who can solve that particular issue. If it is a manager, I will approach him. If it is some other teammate, I will approach him. If it is the HR whose involvement is required, I will approach him. But I will try to delegate this issue to an appropriate person. Like it will go like that. You need to handle very diplomatically. Yeah, any other thing? Any other doubt?
Students, you can ask your doubts. You can interact more with the experts.
Please do ask. Like, it's a very good chance for you to like clear your mind before you actually sit for an interview. Please do ask. Like, we'll just wait for 2 minutes and then we'll move ahead. Please don't hesitate. Please ask. Please ask. Okay, fine. Himanshu, do we have any Q&A from a form?
Yes, Nimish. Meanwhile, we can take these questions. The first question is, how does ethics and integrity help in interview?
Like
about the ethics, yeah, in the interview.
Like this normally helps you when you are going for an HR interview. That is normally the final round for any interview process. And then they ask the question like this, as one of a friend has said, like, how will you handle like the teammate one question? Then yeah, that helps. Like how you answer that question, how ethical you are, or how will you report any unethical practice in the company. So yeah, these questions answer will really help, like in the final round, at the HR interview round.
Okay. Next question is, what is the right way to practice coding? And is projects as important as coding skills?
Yeah, the right way to practice coding skills is to first learn about like what are the different data structure algorithms that are present, learn about the language in which you are coding, and then try on the online platforms like CodeChef, HackerRank, or LeetCode, like that. And obviously, the projects that you do in your college really matters a lot when you sit for an interview. It gives a very good impression on your resume, on an interviewer's mind, and even if you miss an answer or two, the interviewer might ignore it on the basis of the fact that you have done that project. So yeah, project matters a lot. And if you want to learn the coding about like different frameworks or a web-based or an Android-based or ML or networking project, then the right way to do is like first learn about that technology, try to make a small project, and then go for a bigger one.
Okay, next question is internships important before any job?
Yeah, internship is like very important. It's, I won't say it's very important, I will say like it's a good to have. Like if you have it, you have a better chance in cracking the interview. But if you don't have it, then compensate it with the right project. Like, but you should have either of these two. And if you have both, it's a very great thing.
Okay,
But yeah,
what are
try
the
to have it.
different and what are the different platforms where we get the internships?
Like one is ours. Like we do provide internship with each and every of our course. We believe like what we are teaching is the right skill that you need to crack an internship. So we have an assured internship program in which we 100% give you an interview. So internship. There are also other platforms like Internshala, Let's Intern, in which you can directly apply for an internship and then get one.
Okay, yeah, Nimish, that's it from the Q&A side.
Okay. Any other question that you have in mind? Please do ask. We wait for 2 minutes if you have any question. Yeah. So what the answer they expect for the question? Tell me about yourself. Normally they expect you to summarize your resume and add 2 or 3 extra points. Like you can start by saying like I have doing this degree. Like if you're from an IT branch, you can say that my name is this. I'm pursuing my BTech IT, and like I have this CGP. I've done this project. In this project, my role was this. I've done this internship. Internship, my role was this. I've also tried my hands on some extracurricular activities, like if you have applied for some NGO or if you have done some seminar or if you have organized an event, do mention that. Like it's basically a summary of a resume. So when you answer this question, at that time you realize the importance of those projects, internship, the skills more. Like when you are answering this question. Yeah. Any other thing? Okay. How many projects is good to have in hand while sitting for interview? I would say like don't go for more than 4 or 5, and try to have at least 1 or 2. Yeah. So like ranges from 1 to 5. Any other thing? Any other question? Please do ask. If you want to know the process in detail of a particular company, you can also shoot that. We'll wait for another minute and then we'll wrap up. Okay, does CGPA makes big impact? Okay, like normally CGPA is not something that companies look after very much, but yeah, it makes a filtering criteria. Like for example, a Microsoft is coming in your college and they just want to take 100 student test. Then the only option that they have is put a CGPA bar. Like only 8+ CGPA will be allowed to enter, and that way they just have to take 100 tests. So yeah, at that time CGPA matters. Once you get a chance to have an interview, then CGPA won't matter much. It matters only for filtering criteria. Anything else? Mm, yeah. Any more question? If you have, please ask. Okay. So I think we should wrap up. Okay, I will just wrap up. So if you have any more question that you need to ask, please note my email ID and my contact number. You can ask me anytime on any platform, as I mentioned, like Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, or directly through email. Please do ask. And thank you for attending the session. Thank you for giving out your time. Himanshu, over to you.
Thank you so much, Nimesh. I hope everyone has learned something from this session. As Nimesh said, we are open after this webinar also. You can contact us through our website. And now I would like to thank PSG College of Technology and Information Technology Association for giving us this opportunity to host the webinar. And a special thanks to Dr. K. Uma Maheshwari and Dr. K. Ilyaraja for arranging this webinar. And here is few opportunity for you guys. There is a lot of free courses on our app. You can take the courses and get the certification. App link Kiran has shared in the chat box. You can download it, and there is chances for you to get the internships and jobs if you become part of our community group. For more details, please visit our website. And for any other query, we are open after this webinar also. You can contact us on our website. And Kiran has already shared the feedback form in the chat box. Please fill it. That form will be needed for your e-certificate, and your e-certificate will be mailed to you soon. So here we end our session. So thank you everyone for joining us. Stay home, stay safe, and take care. So
And
please
also,
do.
I thank. Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt, sir. Sorry. You please proceed, sir.
Yeah. So student, please fill the feedback form that will be needed for your e-certificate. Please do fill it. Okay, sir. Now you can speak.
So thank you, sir. Thank you very much for valuable suggestions and good interaction with the students. So I hope students got some ideas, some knowledge on these webinar definitely. So definitely I would like to give my thanks to Nimesh Kandalwal and Chaudhary sir and Kiran for organizing this webinar very effectively. So thank you, all the experts, and also I thank all the students who were attended sincerely. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Welcome, and thank you to you too. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, thank you.
Student, please fill the feedback form that will be needed for your e-certificate.